All right. Hey, what's up, guys? Ryan Hightower here. I've got Danielle on the line with me on a Google Hangout here. I'm going to do kind of a quick chat, quick interview, answer some questions. I have a ton of people reaching out to me about buying and selling on Amazon, and we'll get started. Danielle, you got some questions or some things from people we want to talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. Before we get into it, for those people that don't know, could you maybe share your story just briefly?
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Ryan Hightower. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a single, divorced father, 5 girls, devoted father, full-time realtor. I run a real estate team here in Phoenix of 19 agents. That takes most of my time. Let's see, as it applies to Amazon, you and I went to a thing probably, I think, back in mid or late February of this year, about 5, almost 6 months ago. And I know you've had some success with it too. I've kind of, I know you still have your regular job and you do your Zija stuff and you're having some success with that. I think you kind of backburnered the Amazon stuff for a little bit, but we have just tried to take what we learned from that event. We did this, this 3-day workshop together back in February, and we all took a lot of notes. It was you and me, and my 16-year-old daughter Abby came with us. I basically just tried to really make the most of it, and I don't know, just been. I guess we'll get into some other questions, but humble beginnings, and it's doing really well now. It's an awesome side business. It generates money every day on the side, and I really don't have a whole lot of time to put into it, but it's done very well for the time I put into it. So about almost 6 months into it.
Well, how much time would you say you are putting into it every day or every
I
week?
would say, there's a couple of orders that have come in that have required like a full day or half a day, maybe 2 or 3 days out of the last 6 months. For the most part, I mean, I got a lot of things going on. I do coaching and training with this now. I do coaching and training for realtors and lead gen. I help my own team as best as I can. I'm interviewing agents every day. Got a lot of things going on. Raising 5 kids. I have my kids half of the time. So it's a lot to juggle, but I would say most days I put a half an hour into this. Sometimes an hour. Like today, this will be the only thing I do with Amazon today. I won't have had a chance to look at any listings or source any product, or I have a couple of orders I need to place for more inventory. I may or may not have a chance to do that tonight. But I would say, generally speaking, I would say less than an hour a day.
And along the lines of finding what you sell, what is it that you are selling on Amazon right now, and where do you look for these products?
Yeah, right on. So I'll sell anything with a margin, anything that's moving. And we have some tools available, free and paid, that kind of you're not completely in the dark on guessing what's selling. But anything with a margin. I sell a lot of toys. I kind of have fallen into a niche of like cell phone cases and laptop cases and tablet and iPad. I'm open. I need to expand that. That kind of has been where my first. I have about 80 products listed now, but different SKUs. But that seems to be where most of them have kind of started and led to for now. But there's 1,000 niches.
So once you have the products, how do you get them onto Amazon, and how do you get it there? Do you take it to, I know we have a local location here in Buckeye. Do you drive it down there, or how do you actually get the product directly to Amazon?
They have these distribution centers all over the country, and probably fair to mention what we're talking about here is Amazon FBA, fulfilled by Amazon. You know, your job basically becomes finding good deals on products, and you're ordering and you're shipping it to them. You know, you're opening a seller account and you're keying in what you're shipping to them and what it weighs, and as quickly as it comes into you, you're shipping it all into Amazon. And when it sells, it sells. They handle everything. They ring the bell, they pick and pack the order, they ship it. You know, like this week is a crazy week for me and my other businesses. So like I probably won't have a chance to product or ship anything into Amazon, but $1,000 a day every day this week from inventory that is already sitting in the Amazon warehouses.
Wow, that's awesome. So you mentioned that Abby went with us to the event back in February. Has she been buying and selling as well?
Absolutely. So Abby, my two oldest daughters are doing it now, and you know, and to be fair, they've had watching Dad. You know, not every item I sell. I don't have any items that I'm losing money on, but not every item I sell is like smoking red hot. So Abby and Hannah have kind of had the benefit of watching, you know, what are some of Dad's hotter sellers selling items. And, you know, Abby puts probably, you know, 15 to 30 minutes a week into it. She started with $60 that I loaned her. Her last deposit was over $600 last week net. You know, for a half an hour a week, they're both selling one product. It was one of my best-selling products, but it's not my very best-selling product. And you know, they run out. You know, their kids, they're still learning to manage money and stuff. They're great. They're resourceful. They're watching Dad be the entrepreneur and all this. But you know, the deposit comes in, and she's, you know, they're trying to save up for cars, and you know, teenagers and movies and clothes and Dutch Bros and coffee and all that good stuff. But she still will make sure to, you know, she's still very intentional about, you know, taking at least whatever, $100, $200 out of every deposit, not to kill the golden goose, like restock, reinvest, so that she's got another deposit of, you know, whatever, $500 or $600 the next time around, the next pay cycle. Pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I see that you've been doing a lot of different webinars and offering coaching and stuff like that. So why are you helping so many people with this?
I'm passionate about helping people. I love helping people. I'm of an abundance mindset. I'm firmly convinced, you couldn't convince me otherwise, that not only is it the right thing to do, not only is it the feel-good thing to do, but that's what's compensated too. Like the more people I can go around and help, you know, if I can help 10 struggling adults, or 50 or 100, you know, create an extra $1,000 or $2,000 a month. Most people are only missing their bills by that much. So most people don't have you know, I want to get this to 6 figures a month by the end of the year. I think it might even have 7-figure a month potential next year. Ending straight uphill, but I think most people, even if you could show them how to make another $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 a month, like that would solve so many problems. They could drive a newer car. They could be current on their bills. They could pay off some debt. So I'm like I say, I'm firmly convinced that the more people I help do better, the better it'll serve me as well. It's I don't know, it's a little self-serving, I guess.
I agree though, absolutely. So for the person that wants to get started on this, how much money do you think that they need to invest in order to get that $1,000-$2,000 a month that you're talking about?
I would say, you know, so extreme example, yeah, I tell a lot of my coaching clients, like, this is a lot like managing a fund, even more so than it being a job or a business or a side business. Like, this is very much like managing a mutual fund or a hedge fund, and you have a lot of control over it. You can force some really good returns. I mean, it is absolutely possible to double your money every 30 or 60 days, or better in some cases. You know, Abby, you have to start with something. So the smaller, you know, you could start with $20 or $50, but it's just going to take you a while to get some momentum. You know, you might set yourself back by 6 months or 12 months starting that small. I would say for most people, if people could start with like $500 worth of inventory, that's a really good start. You could create a side income of another $500 or $1,000 a month pretty quickly in 90 days or less. Abby started with $60. I started with $500 on a credit card. I'm 5 months into this. I've gotten a little over $40,000 in net Amazon deposits from that initial start. And I have a little over $100,000 worth of inventory sitting in the Amazon warehouses. All of it selling well. All of it will sell in 90 days or less. And I have about another 60 grand worth of inventory sitting in my garage that will be shipped in over time, to avoid, like, if your stuff sits too long at Amazon, you start to incur some storage fees. So it was kind of a calculated thing. There's some products I have like a 9-month or 12-month supply of it. It's just too much to ship it all in. But I've turned, you know, say $500 on a credit card into almost 200 grand worth of cash and inventory in less than 5 months.
So we've, I think many people have probably seen your pictures of your garage full of the inventory that you sent in, and you mentioned that you have 60 grand worth out there right now. Does the average person need to have that much space to be successful selling on Amazon, or what do you recommend as far as the space allotment for products that we'll be sending in?
Yeah, you know, sure is kind of to attract some attention to it and see, you know, like, people, those are wow pictures. I mean, people are like, holy cow, you know, look at all that stuff. And certainly that has a lot of people and so forth, but I sometimes regret posting those pictures because I think it's discouraged as many people too. I have people message me and email me and text me, and it almost becomes an excuse. They're like, well, I would do this Amazon thing, but I just don't have the space. And they're from the truth. I mean, you and I saw a post the other day of a friend of ours that is living out of an RV. I mean, that's making a few $100s a day. How much extra space do they really have? And I can tell you that most of my stuff comes in, you know, 3, 4, 5 boxes at a time, UPS or USPS. It comes in, I open the boxes, I see what's in it, tape it back up, key it into my Amazon seller account, and it ships back out the same day. It doesn't even hit my garage. It doesn't even hit closet space in the house. It's on my desk. It's on the doorstep. It's back in the trunk of the car. I drop it off at a UPS store the next morning next to, you know, I go to Einstein Bagel every morning and get a bagel and a soda. It's in and out the same day or the next day, 3, 4, 5 boxes at a time. Probably a quarter of my stuff, I now have arrangements with, you know, a lot of my stuff I buy off of eBay. And I have arrangements with them where I get an even lower price just to pay for the shipping too. So I use my discount with Amazon and work a deal out with them and get my best price with where I'm buying the product from. And I'll literally email the prepaid UPS shipping label to the supplier of my product, and I never even see or touch the product. It ships from them directly to the Amazon warehouses, and I get the emails every time. You know, right now it's about 50. I'm popping in right now as we're doing this interview. I'm seeing emails, you know, Amazon, you know, has shipped and sold another item. There's been 5 or 6 in the last 20 minutes here. Pretty cool.
Awesome. So for people interested in getting started selling on Amazon, is your coaching or training something that's required of them to buy?
No, not at all. I probably, you and I spent 3 full days in this. So my experience is through my training and my webinars that I do on this stuff. It's through the eyes of having spent 3 12-hour days in the training together, first in this Amazon stuff. You and I signed up for a coaching program, so we have a coach that lives and sleeps and breathes this stuff once a week. And we have the hotlines and stuff for that. And then I probably, to be perfectly frank, I put so much content on YouTube. If you have the time, you could spend hundreds of hours pouring through that and trying to find what information is of value and what information is just trying to sell you something. So I try to make, I just got off of a coaching call before we started this hangout, a 2-hour coaching call. I had been typically doing these 2-hour packages for $500 and trying to roll everything towards a much more affordable option for people that'll help people get started quicker and not cost quite so much money. Lost my train of thought. Just I try to make these coaching sessions and these webinars the shortcut. Let me show people avoid, and you don't have to watch 500 hours worth of YouTube videos. Let me 8 hours. Let me give you some action steps and a strategy and a game plan to get started, to get an account opened, where to get the product, what to sell it for, how to do your research, how to work your numbers. Like, just kind of, that's, to me, coaching is all about, it's all about perspective. It's all about offering somebody a perspective that maybe they can't see. And it's about showing them shortcuts, saving them time and money.
Definitely. So there's a huge advantage in the fact that they get to borrow your brain, the training that we went through, and the coaching that we get every week, and all of the YouTube videos that you hopped on as well. So what's the next step if somebody does want to get started with you today? Do you have some kind of offer for us?
I do, yeah. So that, I don't ever want to put out there that this is the only way to get started. That somebody has to buy something expensive for me in order to get started. Somebody absolutely could do the same things we did. They could absolutely, go through a 3-day, all-day thing and get through that for, or whatever, or watch hundreds of hours of YouTube videos and kind of on their own and figure out what is of value and what isn't. A lot of that content is just people selling something. Or what I'm doing, I had put these different coaching packages together, like I said, of 2 hours face-to-face or screen share and recorded. We were doing 2 hours for $500, and I was doing half days or full days with people where we, we'll go find something fun to do together, and they can just pick my brains for the day for $2,000. And then like 4 or 5 days, like we'll go take a little, whatever, take a cruise together or go somewhere fun and do something, and where they've got me basically for the better part of a week for $10,000. And we've sold some of those packages. I'm not a huge fan of, as much as I love helping people, like I'm a busy guy, and I'm not a huge fan of selling my time. So what we're doing now with this, and the purpose of kind of this like high level general information, is some more together too, because like there's some information here, but there's really not enough to nuts and bolts, how to action plan, strategy, how to get started, what to do next, what to watch out for. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to do a once a week, every Friday. It'll go at least 2 hours. It may go 3 hours with Q&A, but I'm going to do it every Friday. It's $97, and it's a whole getting started thing. It's how to get started, what to take you A to Z. an evolution. As I continue to learn more, as I continue to do better and better with it, each one will be better. So for somebody that signs up, they can get on those Friday trainings. They can do it once, or they can get on a few more times. They can get on it for 30 days for $97. For that, at riseamazontraining.com. RYS. My name is Ryan. riseamazontraining.com. And yeah, $97. We start the first one a week from Friday. It'll go about 3 hours. Cover everything, give you an action plan, tell you how to get started. And we've got some neat research tools. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. And then figure $97. Like if somebody has, you know, a few $100s or $500 to start, it doesn't need to come to me, but that's like to start with buying their inventory to get started. That's maybe an expectation I would set. That's a good start. Yeah, we'll get you going. We're gonna do the first one a week from Friday, and then every Friday thereafter. I haven't set a time yet, but it'll probably be, you know, 10 a.m. or something, Arizona time, Mountain Standard Time. And like I said, for signing up and paying for it once, we have a private Facebook group. I'll add you to that. There's support. You can ask any questions. You know, I would say come to these things with your questions in mind, and we'll stay until all the questions are answered. And yeah, for $97, you're in, man. You can access all of those for each, you know, 4 in a row for 30 days, and we'll keep doing them every Friday. See if we can make that more sense for everybody. I mean, that makes more sense for me if I can get people on each one of those, and if I can bring the cost down. You know, there's a lot of people that are like, I'm selling these coaching packages and they want to get started, but they don't have $500, or they don't have $2,000, or they don't, you know, make my help and expertise available to them, help them get started, and see if we can create a win-win for everybody. So riseamazontraining.com.
So if they have questions regarding your training at all, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Yeah, so you know, we're doing this in a Google Hangout and live on Facebook. Go ahead and drop your questions in the comments, or you can private message me. Either of those is fine. And you know, quick questions about getting signed up or getting started, I would say is fair play. If you've got in-depth questions on how-tos on Amazon stuff, let's save that for the training. Write those questions down, bring them to the training, and we'll get them all answered.
Awesome. I think that's all the questions that I have written down for you.
Yeah,
excited
right on.
to take advantage of the training.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you, and thanks for doing this, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you later.